It is time for the Sunday Roundtable. We have a lot to get to in the last week. Joining us this morning, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Let's start here close to home with State Senator Bruce Tarr. Does the Mass GOP have some wind in its sails, Rob?
Yeah, I think there are some members there, and the governor helped this week. She proposed a whole bunch of tax increases. As the senator said, her budget increases year over year 7.4%. That's a gigantic amount. And I think these tax increases, she didn't get the Biden memo on inflation. People don't want to be paying more for things. She's going to tax candy, wants to. Potentially car excise taxes go up. Meals taxes in localities go up. These things help Republicans have a chance to beat her.
Marianne?
Well, they're off life support, so that's progress. I mean, they're acting like a real party now. They haven't for years. You know, they've picked off a couple legislative seats. I think they have the possibility to do that in 2026. Will they win any marquee seats in 2026? I doubt it.
Not quite a week into the new Trump administration. There is a lot to unpack, let's face it. We will start with immigration. Deportation action has begun. Troops sent to the border. Massachusetts political and law enforcement officials are being warned that they will face federal prosecution for resisting administration policies. People all over the country, local and state officials all over the country being warned. How do you see this playing out, Marianne?
Well, the possibility for conflict comes in two places. It's not going to come when when they want to get undocumented immigrants who've committed crimes. Maura Healey's made clear that they will help with that because it's criminal. Where it comes in is where if the federal government comes in, ICE and others, and want to start picking up undocumented immigrants who have not committed crimes, and under Massachusetts law, state and local authorities don't do the job of federal government. And you now have the Trump administration and the DOJ saying, if anyone's stopping you or stymieing you from doing this, you report them back to us. We will.
Is there a difference between stopping federal authorities and simply not cooperating? There is a difference, but will the Trump administration make that difference?
Well, I mean, they've endorsed lawlessness, so they're going to do what they want.
Well, the memo says threatening to impede. What do you think, Rob?
I think so far it's been careful and targeted by Trump. People predicted that there were going to be these mass raids everywhere. It hasn't happened. Here in Massachusetts, we saw that they went after somebody with 17 convictions. They went after MS-13 gang members. These are things that the American people support. 87% of people support deporting aliens with a conviction.
Is his administration, is President Trump's administration hearing what he wants from Massachusetts officials? Because you have Governor Healey saying, you know what, we want to see criminals, off our streets. And you have that from Andrea Campbell as well.
Well, yeah, they've tried to inch towards the center on the issue. I think they get that voters rejected the Biden policies of open borders, and they're on board with Trump. Even 63% of people in a poll this week support deporting all people who entered illegally in the last 4 years. So they're inching towards the voters. They preferred a much more liberal policy and enforced it here in Massachusetts.
It's not about inching towards the center. It's about abiding by the law. And that's why Maura Healey's making clear that when it comes to committing crimes, she will be helpful. But if you're just going to go willy-nilly and just throw people out of the country, then she's not. And that's why she's made that big distinction on we're not a sanctuary state. We're not. She's actually going to follow the law.
The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court, under that 2017 decision, does give sanctuary cities cover, so-called sanctuary cities
You brought up public opinion, Rob, which segues to our next topic. The vast majority of the people in this country did not want blanket pardons for all the people that took part in January 6th. But that's exactly what we got. Pardons, commutations for those January 6 rioters. The president called them hostages, even those who attacked Capitol police officers brutally. I mean, look at some of this video. They were freed. The leader of the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, they're all out. Republicans on Capitol Hill, silent on this. Could this action come back to haunt the GOP?
Sure. And I mean, some spoke out against it, most didn't. They sacrificed their principles out of fear of Trump, out of fear of a loss of political power. That's it. Period. End of sentence.
Marianne?
It should, because this is now saying there are no laws in this country. This is Donald Trump ushering in lawlessness, and for everybody he pardoned, he's basically building out his own militia. And that is what everyone should be concerned with. If you do something Donald Trump wants you to do and it's illegal, he's got your back, he will pardon you.
We did see some pushback from some police unions after those pardons.
Rightfully so. I mean,
Police unions that had endorsed President Trump.
correct. I mean, and because on the January 6th, all those officers were protecting all of them. And then they all turned their back and said, you get a get out of jail free card. And that's, I mean, one quick thing. One of the Capitol Police officers who was there on January 6th, who was beaten, worked the inauguration last week. And he got home after 14 hours of protecting all those people and found out they all got out of jail, and he tweeted, "Thanks, America."
Yeah. President Trump skipped Joe Biden's inauguration, but Biden, Kamala Harris, they were right there for Trump's indoor address, and Trump did not spare them his wrath. Much was made about the normalcy of the transfer of power this time around, but was it really normal, Rob?
I mean, it was, but first on the pardons.
It was something to see,
we
to
have
hear
to
him going on and on with President Biden sitting right behind him.
Sure. And on the pardons, let's remember, Biden pardoned a lot of people, and it canceled out some of this Trump stuff politically. They both, shame on both of them, shame on both of them.
No comparison.
But let's take a breath. It was a normal, peaceful transfer of power. The Constitution won out this time around. It didn't 4 years ago.
All right, more with the roundtable when we come back.